Keith and Chaz recording NostalgiaVerse session. This is the first one we're recording, or first of many. We've done a lot of talks before in the past. We just start rolling, and I was just like, hey, let's start recording and go.
January 20th, 11:36 in the morning. Are we up yet?
For all those people in the year 2048 who are listening.
This is 2014.
This is 2014.
No, actually it's 2015. Hello.
2015, yeah. 2015, crazy.
Yes.
Right, yeah. It's nuts.
So anyway.
So we're talking about the Beatles. The Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts album.
Lennon and McCartney needed something to change the world of music because they hadn't performed in a while. They needed something coming off Revolver. And Psychedelia was the tail end. Actually, Revolver was the introduction for the Beatles into Psychedelia with Tomorrow Never Knows, where they ran backtracks and different harmonics. Yeah. And it really was part of Psychedelia. They took a while. Actually, the Beatles put out an album every 8 months or so. But that went into Sgt. Pepper.
Alright, so what really gets me about the Beatles, and going back to the whole mystery thing, is that they stopped touring after, what was it, 66?
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about like the most popular band in the world, and they just stopped touring all of a sudden. Very interesting.
They wanted to get back to studio music. They had to get back up on top. They felt they were losing a lot to a lot of other groups around. Look at the English Invasion. How many more groups were around? Stones were on their heels constantly.
I don't know, but I mean, like, I don't know if...
Even the Stones dropped into Psychedelia with their Satanic Majesty's Request.
Satanic Majesty's Request.
Yes,
okay.
Request. With She's a Rainbow and 2,000 Light Years from Home, Give Me Shelter. A lot of good stuff on that album.
And for all those listening to this right now, one of the things that I think is going to be so beneficial about NostalgiaVerse in these conversations is Chaz has a lot of recommendations about songs. I mean, these are things that I just don't know about, being someone who didn't grow up in the era. And he gives very curated advice. Listen to this.
I'm going to give you very good advice.
So say that again. Say it again. What song was that?
2,000 Light Years from Home. And what you're going to do is sit with headphones on.
There you go. Listen
to the song. Lights out. Let your mind wander. And you're going to hear stuff going back and forth between your ears and above your head and underneath. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic.
There you have it. Chaz Galish recommending you to 2,000 Light Years
from Home.
From Home by the Stones.
In fact, in 1989, on the Steel Wheels tour, it's the first time I've ever seen them do this. And they really never did it before. But they did a segue between Gimme Shelter and 2,000 Light Years from Home. Yeah. You could not believe how great that was.
Really?
The combination of those two songs. To me, Gimme Shelter is probably the best song the Stones ever did.
Give Me Shelter.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I just want to...
Besides Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Okay. I just want to make this known because it's very interesting what you know versus what I know and how I've grown up and just how my life unfolded and yours did. So, I grew up in this... 87 I was born, and then you go into the 90s while you get all this music that comes from...
You missed the greatest years of
music. Well, that's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to get this back, and this is part of the reason why I'm so fascinated by this relationship and the value I get from it. And so grew up in the 90s and primarily had MTV. But the early 90s when MTV actually played music videos, and that was pretty cool. I mean, you had Sugar Ray, you had like Alanis Morissette.
And you waited and waited for the next video to come on.
Yeah, you waited for the next video, and that was really, really cool. But see, in the 90s, let's say like early 90s, late 90s, when I was growing up and watching those videos still the music still had some art in it. There was still some type of like expression there, and you felt good about that. And then gradually, as it's gone on, the music that's been coming out, there are some people who have these real original expressions, but it's very few and far between now. So that's why I feel this innate drive to go back to discover things that of the 60s, 70s, I mean, even before then, 70s, 80s. So it's almost like, yeah, these things have been around for a while, but they're new to me. And if this is the first time I'm hearing about this song, and to listen to this, what was the recommendation again? Like
2,000 Light Years from Home.
But what would you say? Listen to it at night?
At night, in the dark, with headphones on.
See, these are the conversations that were happening in the 60s, 70s that I just obviously didn't have access to because I wasn't born. But I would love to have access to them. That's what we're going to give you. We're going to give you access to these conversations.
And in the background, the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. Another great rocker. Probably, for me, the biggest break in era was the British invasion. Before that, you had a lot of American groups. The Beach Boys were coming on the scene with surf music. Four Seasons were out there doing the girly tunes. But British invasion came by with the Beatles, the Stones, the Animals, the Dave Clark Five, Herman's Hermits, the Kinks. A dozen or so groups that came in with great stuff, each a little bit different than the other. And they just took over the charts. It was a new wave, actually new wave before new wave was ever there, music that came in. Nobody ever really heard it before. It was coming straight from the Beatles. And everybody else brought their own sound.
And what's so interesting about this, especially if anyone's listening to this who is an aspiring musician or is aspiring creative, what's so interesting about the Beatles is that a lot of people don't realize how much went into them becoming that good. In the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, he has a whole chapter on how long they spent. They spent, I think they put in, was it 1,200 live shows before they ever went to Apple and recorded their first album. 1,200, that's a lot of shows. They did that in Hamburg, Germany. And why this message is so relevant to people who are upcoming artists or who, at any age, they want to create something from scratch, like you want to start, I want to be as good as the Beatles, 1,200 live shows. You have to understand, from probably from 1 to about 600, they probably weren't that great. Yeah, the instruments probably didn't sound that great. They probably did a lot of covers. I mean, I'm sure from probably show 1 to 800, they probably did a lot of covers. I mean, it's probably 80% covers. And then, as they started to get their groove, they started to understand their skills and how to play the instruments and how to sing correctly. And they started inputting their own tracks in there. And then it got to the point where they just overflow. It was just boom, this huge overflowing. Where then the artists, they were selling out every night in Hamburg, and that was getting the bar person who owned the bar. Oh, these guys are great. Everyone's coming in watching this. Like these guys are awesome. So then from there, it was the logical thing to go to Apple. And to correct me if I'm wrong, we have to check this. But wasn't Apple Studios being developed at that time? Like a lot of the engineering and recording technology that went into Apple Studios was brand new at the time.
Well, at the beginning, the Beatles were with Capitol, and a big organization. But what made the Beatles great was all individuals could sing, they could write, and they had their own pathway to what they needed to do. Harrison was not a great lead guitarist. He had a good friend in Eric Clapton who taught him a few things. Okay, a lot of these musicians, they developed over time. Unlike if you go back to 1966 with the Monkees. They were just brought on for a TV show. They couldn't play. They were a comedian act, but they learned. And you know something? They had, some of them could actually play. They started writing their own music. And guess what? They became a pretty good group after a while.
And you were telling me a very interesting fact about them the other day. Davy Jones, the guy's name?
Yeah.
Well, he was a circus performer, right?
Oh, no. Mickey Dolenz,
Mickey Dolenz, right.
had a TV show when I think he was 8 years old. He was in Circus Boy.
Oh.
He already knew how to act.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
And that's what it took to get into the show, was acting. But he was a prolific drummer also. And he could sing.
So who's the circus guy?
There is no circus guy. Circus Boy.
Circus Boy.
He played in a show on TV.
There's a traveling circus.
It was based on that, a TV show.
Oh, I thought it was an actual circus. I mean, why?
No, it was a TV show called Circus Boy.
It's got a little bit of a letdown because, you know, when you know, like I said, I was born in '87 and I dealt with the whole '90s and whatnot, and there was always that saying, "Run away and join the circus."
Well, that's what the show is about. A little boy who ran away and joined the circus.
Oh, that's what the show was about.
Yeah.
Okay, I was talking about
That's why they call him Circus Boy.
I thought he actually ran away and joined the circus.
He's still alive. He might do that now.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that there was, I don't know, something a way for kids to, I don't know, join circuses. That'd be cool. But, yeah.
You have to have a